we now have two train options to get to Inter Miami's new home, new stadium, right next to the Miami International Airport. So we're going to dig into how we could get to the stadium using Brightline and Tri-Rail. And we'll talk about which we think are the best option for you from price and flexibility and all the above. So let's get right into it and discuss new stadium, its parking problems, and why the train makes sense. New stadium is a 26,700 seat stadium, but it's only going to have 4,500 parking spaces. That's an average of 6 people per car. And we know that's not realistic. So about half of the Inter Miami fans have to find an alternative way to get to the stadium because we can't all park there. There's not enough parking spaces. The stadium was always intended for us to use mass transit. Now, I've kind of fought against the whole mass transit thing in the past because I've always said South Florida is really not a mass transit area. We all want to have our cars everywhere we go. But once Inter Miami decided to build the stadium right next to the airport that has large train stations next to the airport within walking distance to the stadium, it now kind of makes sense. So let's get into all this. And if you look at the screenshot here, there's just not enough parking. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to get to the stadium. And let's start off with Brightline. So Brightline has been a long partner with Inter Miami. Brightline has the goal getter plan, which you save about 25-30% on your tickets using Brightline. So it's a great service, but it does have its drawbacks. None of these options are perfect, but they'll get you there. You just may have to make a couple of extra steps. In Tri-Rail's case, it's literally steps. But here with Brightline is great. We have a video on me using the Brightline to get to Miami Freedom Park. So in the Fort Lauderdale situation, Brightline would take you to the Fort Lauderdale station, and then there were buses that would bus you to Chase Stadium. So here's what it says. And let's get into this. Let's read this from their website. Goal getters score a ride to action. Miami's hometown heroes enter a new era at their new stadium in Miami, and Goal Getter Train gets you close. They get you close to the action. They don't quite get you there, but they will get you close in style. Now, the Brightline trains are great. They're clean. They're fast. It's a great service, but it comes at a premium. Whether you're a super fan with season tickets or just looking for a sporty day out, we've got you covered. So the train will drop you off at Brightline Miami Central Station. This is key right here. It is just a quick 6-mile ride share to Miami's new soccer stadium. Ride share. That means they are not supplying the bus from Brightline to the stadium. That's up to you. Now, in my video that I use Brightline, there are other options. You can walk over to the Metro Rail and take the orange line on the Metro Rail and then get you to the airport and then walk across. So that's an option. It's just going to take you a little longer. A ride share. You can hop on an Uber to give you that 6 miles. It's cheap. So let's dig into this real quick and let's just see what the prices are for using this option. And I'm going to come from Boca Raton because that's where I am closest to. And we're going to depart on April 4th and we're going to return on April 4th. We're going to search tickets. So let's look at how much this will cost you. And that's because this plays a big part. So here are your goal getter deals. Let's say we want to get to the stadium early as possible using their deal. That is going to be $27 at minimum. This is just their cheaper seats. You could pay $52. $27 one way. Okay, so that's an option. You don't get to select your seat, but it's no big deal. I did it and it was great. So let's select that. Now, coming back, here's the good part. they have a train leaving at 11:45. Normally, the trains don't run that late. So here, because it's on game day, they have a train leaving at 11:45. It's another $27 to get home. So from there, you've now paid $54, and you now have to also get a ride share, which is another what, $10, $12? I'm not exactly sure. So you're talking at around, $60, $65 or so to get to the stadium. Now you're going to get there in style, and it's going to be great. And that's great if you want to pay that price. Now, parking at the stadium is probably going to be $50 or $60. So you're basically breaking even. You are paying about the same amount as you would pay if you were parking at the stadium, maybe a little more, but it's stress-free. You don't have to worry about traffic. You get there and you can drink, you can have fun because you're not driving, and so it's great. You can do that. No problem. However, this is the other option, and you can use Tri-Rail. Now, here's what Tri-Rail says. Now, I also did a video using Tri-Rail, and you could see in that Tri-Rail video that it's not the cleanest ride, but it is going to get you right to the doorstep. So the Tri-Rail is making it easier and more convenient to fans getting to Inter Miami games at Miami Freedom Park. So let's skip over a lot of the fluff and just says here, with most Inter Miami CF games being scheduled at Saturdays and Sundays, fans could take advantage of the Tri-Rail's $5 weekend pass. $5 is all it's going to cost you. That is round trip. I don't care if it's a little bit dirty. $5 to get there round trip. This is a no-brainer. So it allows you unlimited rides on the day of the purchase, right? So that's round trip. For weekday games, the price can range from anywhere from $5 to $17.50. Even if it's at its highest at $17.50, no big deal. That's a lot cheaper than Brightline. So it's keeping an affordable option for any day of the week. So let's go. And it does mention that somewhere in here, it does mention that there will be a train waiting for you when the game is over, making sure that it gives you ample enough time to get from the stadium to the train. So they don't actually have on here a time like Brightline showed you the train would be leaving at 11:45. This didn't give you tell you how long the train will wait. So, I might, the first time using it, I might try to get there, pretty quick just to make sure and then see how it goes from there. But it does say the train will stay there long enough to give you ample time to get to the Tri-Rail. Tri-Rail is right across the street from the stadium. So here we've got this detailed map. You see the stadium, and then if you look to the right of the stadium, right? Let's see, how can we point to it? Right over here, you could see the proposed mass transit connector, okay? So that's the bridge that they have proposed. It is not built. So that is the bridge that has been proposed so you can easily walk across from the train station directly to the stadium. That is not built. There is no timeline yet as to when that will be built. That's going to be an expensive project, but it is in the plans. It is supposed to get done. But right now, all you have to do is walk outside the train station, walk across this little, I think it's a 2-lane road. I think it's one each direction. And then walk basically around the block a little bit and then enter into the stadium grounds. I'm assuming they'll have a nice walkway for us. First game, it might be a bit of a gravel walkway, I'm afraid, but they should have something arranged for it. So it is not a large walk. I have done this before. I kind of equate this to when fans go to the Florida Panthers games. A lot of people park across the street at Sawgrass Mills. And you walk across the street, then you kind of walk around the block almost, walk all the way down the end of where the end side of the stadium, and then walk in. It is a long walk. This, I believe, will be a shorter walk. So It is a no-brainer option. I told you I would tell you what you should use. No-brainer option, Tri-Rail. Tri-Rail is the way to go. So here's a side-by-side reality that when we're going to get down to it is Tri-Rail. The promise is a train with a bridge to the stadium, okay? Reality is we've got the train, but we don't have a bridge. It's a little bit of a question mark, but you can definitely walk it. If you've watched our construction videos, you've seen me walk it, okay? Brightline, the promise is it's a train to Miami. The reality is it's a train to a station, and then you have to book your own ride share. It starts getting pricey compared to the old system where the train, then Brightline train, then shuttle, and then you know drop you off right in front of Chase Stadium. So neither of these two options are perfect. But the no-brainer option is Tri-Rail. I will be using Tri-Rail for the April 4th game, assuming, you know, all goes well and it opens as planned. And I would hope a lot of you guys are jumping on the train with me for $5. It is a no-brainer. I can get to the stadium easy with no stress, get there as early as I want, and the train will wait for me when I leave at the end of the game. So now that they've got these ironed out, I really do understand the concept of using mass transit. I've never been a mass transit person. I'm a South Florida guy. I'm not from New York where I'm used to riding the trains and all that kind of stuff. So this will be new to me, but it makes sense. And look, this is me coming from Broward and it makes sense. But if you're coming from North Miami, if you're anywhere near, if you're in near Aventura, there's a train station. It is still more convenient for you to take that Aventura Tri-Rail to New Stadium. It just makes sense. You know, there are other options as well, which we could get into in another video regarding the Metro Rail. But for this video, that about wraps it up. Are you going to ride the train? And which train? Are you bougie and going to ride the Brightline? Or are you like the simple folks like us and going to ride Tri-Rail? $5 versus $60-something? When we're all said and done, I'm going to choose Tri-Rail. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do and how you're going to get to the game, whether it be the first home opener game or one in the future. Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. We'll see you later, guys.